perspective in psychology, a comparative and applied evaluations. This presentation discussed two significant approaches to psychology. I shall compare and contrast behavioral and cognitive approaches and describe them. I will address their assumptions, theories, and primary principles by Dominic and etc. 2018. I will also examine the way that each of the viewpoints elucidate contemporary psychological challenges. This presentation will be systematic within a timeline to address all learning outcomes. Cognitive approaches is concerned with the way the mind works out of information. It examines such aspects as memory, thinking, attention, and perception. A computer system is often compared to the mind. Liu, etc., 2022. The interpretations and thoughts have a great impact on behavior. This is an explanatory method of mental processes which explain mind in structured models, which you can see here, like attention, language, learning, perception, thoughts, and memory. Assumption behaviorism evaluation. The environment influences behavior. Behaviorists are more inclined towards control and scientific experiment. The method is robust when it comes to generating quantifiable and valid outcomes. One of the major weaknesses is that it disregards internal mental mechanism, or by clocked etc. 2021. It continued to find application in such treatment as behavior modification. The environment influences behavior, goes round about. Again, behaviorists are more inclined towards control and scientific experiment. The method is robust when it comes to generating quantifiable and valid outcomes. One of the major weaknesses is that it disregards internal mental mechanism, by Klotz, etc. 2021. It continued to find application in such treatments as behavior modification. Assumption of cognitive perspective evaluation. Cognitive psychology claims that the thought determines behavior. It explains thinking by means of memory and information processing models. One of its strengths is that activities that are complex to the mind are targeted. Nevertheless, numerous cognitive research work are not valid in real life. It gives good explanation to such disorder as anxiety and depression by Shape, etc. 2019. This is a theorist in behaviorism. This is the evaluation for theories in behaviorism. It says classical conditioning was presented by Pavlov via learning by association. And Skinner came up with operant conditioning. that is grounded on rewards and punishment. These theories demonstrate the way behavior is manipulated and dealt with. Critics state that this method is dependent on animal studies, and Nakani and Obinet 2018, it possesses little knowledge on human behavior. It possesses little knowledge on human behavior and thoughts. Here, ignorance of genetics, generalization, cognitive issues, and psychopathology. Theorists in cognitive psychology, motor storm memory model was developed by Atkinson and Shirin. 2. Beck came up with cognitive theory and affected CBT treatment. These theories emphasize the importance of thought in the behavioral conditioning. 4. They have good scientific evidence, like Goldstein and Uchida 2016. They have criticized that some cognitive models simplify the mind. Similarities between the two perspectives. The two fields are trying to elucidate human behaviors in a scientific way. They both employ systematic research and strategies in the support of their theories. These two methods have been used to provide successful psychological treatment. The two schools of thought are still effective in contemporary psychology by Melanin 2024. They assist in the creation of a systematic knowledge of behavior and mental functions. Behaviorist revolves around the outward behavior, whereas cognitive revolve around the inner thoughts. Behaviorism regards individuals as being dominated by the surroundings, whereas cognitive permits choice. XU Extra 2016. Behaviorists like to use lab experiments on animals, cognitive on human-based tasks. Cognitive psychology deal with memory and thinking, which is not the case with behaviorisms. Both fields provide varying reason to explain the same behavior. Behavior apply addiction. Addiction is regarded as a behavior that is acquired by means of reinforcement. Incentive like pleasure augments drug taking. Pleasures augment drug taking behavior by Banner and etc. 2019. Aversion therapy eliminates addiction because it is combined with unpleasantness. Talking economics play a role in rewarding positive behavior in order to pay off bad habits. Good in controlling behavior but could be ineffective in deeper issues. Cognitive approach applied here. Depression. The depression condition is associated with poor thinking styles and assumptions, while cognitive psychology is concerned with the influence of thoughts on feelings. CBT assists in refuting and transforming negative thought pattern by Kaya 2020. CBT has been demonstrated to be effective in reduction of symptoms. Others might not be able to find the drive needed to carry out CBT. Critical comparison of applications. Behaviorism works better in modifying observable behaviors such as addiction, problems that are emotional and ones that are based on thinking tend to be better addressed through cognitive therapy. CBT offers sustained progress of most mental illness by Patton, etc. 2019. Behavioral techniques are effective in the controlled setting, and there are different ethical concerns, including aversion therapy. Here is ethical considerations in using both perspectives. Animals were used in behavioral research frequently, and this concern injury and consent. Sometimes behavior modification techniques are manipulative and abusive. Testing of cognitive can cause stress or cultural or stereotype discrimination by Liu, etc. 2022. CBT may end up blaming vulnerable clients because it has a lot of emphasis on the aspect of individual responsibility. Ethical codes assist in minimizing the risks. Yet, both schools of thought have their restrictions in study and practice. We can see it here. Ethical considerations, beneficence, justice, truthfulness and honesty, dignity and respect, non-beneficence and autonomy. Here, real-world research evidence supports each perspective. Research in behaviorism revealed that reinforcement is strong in addiction and habit information. The classical conditioning research can be used to justify exposure therapy to decrease phobias. CBT is proved to be very effective with mood and anxiety disorders, determined by cognitive research. Neuroscience aids in affirming the thinking and the memory by demonstrating the way in which brain functions connect to cognitive models. Goldstein and Ocheda 2016. The two views yield practical evidence, yet behaviorist studies are not real and cognitive tasks are unnatural. The behaviorist and cognitive approaches provide their explanation of behavior. Both schools of thought have divine assumptions and powerful theorists. They do not exclude each other and have different focus and methods. Both fields have some practical applications in the real world. according to Goldstein and Uchida 2016. Learning of both enhances practice and psychological knowledge. Psychological knowledge. In conclusion, the two standpoints are critical in explaining behavior. Both methods have both advantages and disadvantages in practice. Practical use is made of such application as CBT and behavior modification. There are several different attitudes that help to have a more profound insight into human psychology. The lecture draw attention to the necessity of psychological theories comparison. This is the end of the presentation.